43-year-old Lee was stabbed around 2:30 in the morning just outside the financial district at a residence.
Chamber Brothers Uptown.
Ideas a week. 102, in 10 years, you'd have some approximation to being what you might consider an educated person. And I've had groups like that, too, where we've read through those essays and discussed them and so on. It's wonderful.
We should talk about the great books of the West. It's not cheap, but I encourage everyone to buy it. And I was actually exposed to it by another thinker I think really highly of. So, C.S. Lewis, kind of up there in the pantheon of great Christian apologists. Can you just share briefly, did he ever struggle with his faith? And if so, how did he get to a place to be such a clear author and defender of Christianity?
Well, when you say struggle, I don't know exactly what you mean. When his wife died, certainly there was a grief, but I don't think that the grief that he experienced in any way put his faith in jeopardy, as some people want to suggest. Instead, I would say the struggles that he had are the struggles anybody should have when they realize that what they know is not complete. We can have a sure word about things. We'll never get a last word about anything. Any truth you know could still be thought more deeply. It could be applied more widely and so on. So Lewis wrote us two different quotes. One is a statement he made in a sermon he preached at Oxford University called The Weight of Glory. And he said, if our religion is objective, then we must never avert our eyes from those elements in it which seem puzzling or repellent. For it's precisely the puzzling or repellent where we begin to discover we do not yet know and need to know. So Lewis was never afraid to lean into the realm of things he didn't understand, because he knew there were riches behind those things. And there's an essay he wrote, it's a brilliant essay, and at the very end of it, he said, all academic exercise should end in doubt. He doesn't mean that his work in that essay wasn't true. He just means it wasn't complete. And it kind of works like this. The great theologian Lucy Pevensey in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, in the second book, Prince Caspian, she sees Aslan, the Christ figure of those books, for the first time on her second trip into Narnia, and she says to him, Aslan, you're bigger. He says, oh no, child, I am not. But every year you grow, you'll finally get bigger. So consequently, there's those kinds of doubts in Lewis, and those kinds of questions, but they're the questions that are not leading to existential despair. They're the kinds of doubts that all of us should have when we're on the threshold of new discovery, new awe, new wonder, and ultimately new worship.
So there's three books I want to talk about throughout this hour that I think are very readable to the ordinary person. Mere Christianity, Screwtape Letters, and Abolition of Man. And it's hard to even rank them because they're different. But we're going to start with Mere Christianity in the next segment to talk about the importance of it, which I believe were actually originally given as radio broadcasts on the BBC during the Blitz, and then was later turned into what is now known as Mere Christianity. I believe it is a great starting point for anybody that is thinking about the Christian faith, and it's also a fabulous book if you've been a Christian for 40 years. It's equal in its profundity and its depth and also its wisdom. I want to also plug your book, though, Doctor, The Neglected C.S. Lewis. I encourage you to check it out. I want to ask you about the arguments you make in that book as well throughout the hour, but I do want to make sure we lay the foundation of C.S. Lewis's incredible work. Doctor, stay right there. We have a full hour together, and I'm very much enjoying it, so please stay right there. I want to tell you guys about Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is terrific. Americans have had it. They're done supporting companies that rake in hundreds of millions, sometimes billions of dollars, while trashing the country that made their success possible. Until recently, we had to take it, but companies like Patriot Mobile are building a whole new economy, one which embraces the values that made America the greatest country on earth. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. Today, go to patriotmobile.com/Charlie. All of this plus the knowledge that you're supporting free speech, the sanctity of life, the Second Amendment, and our military and first responder heroes. I encourage you guys to check it out. patriotmobile.com/Charlie or call 878-PATRIOT. patriotmobile.com/Charlie. patriotmobile.com/Charlie. You guys can check it out. Free activation today with the offer code Charlie. Portions of this program are brought to you in part by Patriot Mobile, patriotmobile.com/Charlie. Great company, make the switch from one to the other. No more woke wireless, go to a Patriot company. No more excuses, patriotmobile.com/Charlie. If you have not yet read C.S. Lewis, it is a gift waiting for you right there. I envy the person who gets to read Mere Christianity for the first time. We'll be right back.
Hello, everyone. Doug Andrew here. I call my favorite financial vehicle the Laser Fund. LASER is an acronym that stands for Liquid Assets Safely Earning Returns. The Laser Fund eliminates the dangers of rising taxes, inflation, and market uncertainty. You know, losing money when the stock market goes down is unacceptable to me. Learn how I protect myself when that happens. I want you to have a free copy of my latest best-selling book, The Laser Fund, How to Diversify and Create the Foundation for a Tax-Free Retirement. Especially if you have money trapped in an IRA or 401k, learn what you can do better. Call now to claim your free copy. I'll send out a copy via priority mail. I'll cover the shipping. Simply call 925-430-7878. That's 925-430-7878. Call 925-430-7878.
This is Dennis Prager inviting you to join me for a memorable travel opportunity that will be a highlight of your life. Mike Gallagher and I are headed again back to Israel in October for the Stand with Israel tour. Join us along with our trusted partner, Inspiration Cruises and Tours. We'll visit key sites in the Holy Land, thoughtfully designed to give you unprecedented access to a region you may have only read about. Visit standwithisraeltour.com for details. We'll uncover important geopolitical sites and show you Israel's significance on the world stage. You'll set foot on the ancient streets of Jerusalem, sail the Sea of Galilee, pray at the Western Wall, and much more. We'll have guides specifically for our group, lavish accommodations, and I will even broadcast my show from Israel. No other trip will be like the Stand with Israel tour. Come with Mike Gallagher and me this October. Register today. Call 855-565-5519, 855-565-5519, or just go to standwithisraeltour.com, standwithisraeltour.com.
Are you earning money on your checking account? Provident Credit Union believes you should be earning on all your accounts. Provident offers a dividend-earning checking account called Super Reward Checking. With a Super Reward Checking account, you can earn 1.26% annual percentage yield on your account balance. That's 1.26% with no monthly or annual fees. Start earning money today. Visit providencecu.org. Insurance of NCUA. Rate effective October 18th, 2022. May change at any time. Other terms and conditions apply.
Are you tired of residential tenancy laws in California and wish there was a better way to invest in real estate? Hi, I'm Matt Hagar, president of Intero Commercial East Bay. We specialize in helping residential property owners transition their portfolios into commercial assets leased to tenants such as Walgreens, Starbucks, and the U.S. government. These properties offer around 3 times the cash flow of a single-family investment, and all expenses are paid by the tenant. If you'd like to know more, visit Hagar.group. That's HAGAR.group.
What aren't we being told about the COVID-19 scenario, about covert climate engineering operations that are wreaking havoc with weather all over the world, about the totality of unfolding and accelerating global environmental collapse? If you're willing to face and investigate shocking, verifiable realities that mainstream media sources and their distract and divide talking heads will never tell you, tune into the commercial-free, non-political Global Alert News Hour, Sunday, 4 p.m. on AM 860, The Answer. This is Dave Wigington from GeoEngineeringWatch.org.
If you want to invest your money and grow your wealth, just listen to Phil Grant.
Hi, I'm Phil Grant at philsgang.com. There's many reasons to listen to a radio show, but I think to listen to my show, you get the truth, you get clarity, and you get great information.
No matter what level of investor you are, Phil's Gang strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success.
You know what? Most of all, it's fun. philsgang.com. Clarity, good information, and fun.
Want to be as healthy and happy as you can be in 2023? Tune into the Healthiest Hour on radio. Hi, it's the Snowman inviting you to join us this Saturday morning for a stellar lineup of guests and information to help you get into the best shape of your life while increasing your energy and losing a few pounds in the process. Make those New Year's resolutions stick by sticking with us all year long to keep your mind and body healthy and strong. It's David Snow on Dr. Health Radio this Saturday morning at 9. Here is The Answer.
Welcome back, everybody. Email us freedom@charliekirk.com. One of the best-selling books of the last 100 years is Mere Christianity. We are discussing C.S. Lewis this hour. We have received, and I've counted, well over 500 emails of people saying they're depressed and discouraged. And then you should read C.S. Lewis, because there's something bigger than you and what you're dealing with that is worthy of wonder. Dr. Jerry Root is with us. His book is The Neglected C.S. Lewis that I encourage you guys to purchase and read and study. But let's talk about Mere Christianity. Dr. Mere Christianity, as we mentioned, was originally given in a time of crisis during the Blitz on the BBC radio, and then was turned into the book. I believe he added and clarified and edited some of the radio broadcasts. Mere Christianity is one of the best-selling Christian books ever. What is in that book that is so powerful, and why should we study it?
Well, Lewis basically underscores a pilgrimage to faith that I think grows out of his own experience. He had been an atheist, and he works his way through the morass of atheism and its supporting worldview, materialism, works his way through agnosticism, comes to a place where he causes the reader to look at Jesus Christ. And they may have anger with the church, they may have anger with some friend of theirs who hurt them, but he wants them to focus on Christ. The one thing that's interesting, too, quickly, he begins with what I call the shared imagination. Lewis has 31 different ways he uses the word imagination. One of them is called the shared imagination, and that's when you enter into a shared experience with your reader so that you're on the same page at one place at least. You may diverge after that, but he wants to begin there and then bring his reader into a more inferentially developed understanding of a particular idea. And I was with my friend, and we were at Half Moon Bay, south of San Francisco. We were riding bikes along the coast, and we came up to this place where the waves were breaking on the rocks. It was absolutely beautiful. My friend wanted me to see it. And we're there extolling the beauty, and this couple comes riding up, and we're talking about the beauty with them. And finally I said, isn't it great to know who to thank? Now we have a shared experience of the beauty. I'm an atheist. I said, and I said, I bet I can prove you in 10 minutes you're not. He said, try. So pulling out my Lewis, Mere Christianity kinds of ideas, I said, define for me first what an atheist is. A lot of times we argue with people and we miss each other completely. We want to make sure you define the terms. He said, atheists believe there's no possibility God exists. I said, I don't think you have the credibility to make that judgment. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, the Widener Library at Harvard University has 19 million volumes under that roof. He said, no, of course not. And I said, then how can you make the judgment that there's nothing in any of those books that might count against what you're thinking now? I said, I don't think you have the reach to do that. And then C.S. Lewis, I said negative knowledge is always harder to assert than positive. For me to say there's no spider in this room, I'd have to check every nook and cranny to make the claim stick. I could see a spider scurrying across the floor. Proofs for God's existence are more complex than that, but nevertheless, the analogy works. Negative arguments are harder to assert than positive ones. I don't think you have the credibility to make that judgment. Give me an honest agnostic, I said, over a dishonest atheist. He said, you're right. I'm an agnostic. And then I said to him, well, if you're wrong on that one, the first one, maybe you're wrong on this one too. He said, what do you got for me? We laughed together. What do you got for me? I said, there's a book by C.S. Lewis called Mere Christianity. You might want to read it. He said, send it to me. I sent it to him. I didn't give him my email address, and within 2 weeks I got back from him. I read Mere Christianity. I'm moving in your direction. It's powerful, but the arguments in it are very good, building up to our need for Jesus. To make any judgment, we make judgments all the time. And when we make a judgment, what's the standard of those judgments? We may disagree about the judgment, but if there's no standard, then all judgments whatsoever are nonsensical. In one of his literary critical works, Lewis said, all judgments imply a standard. And he's looking for a transcendent standard that overarches rulers and ruled alike. Not a hypocritical standard where I do one thing and I apply something different to you. So consequently, if there's that standard, we begin to see that all of us fall short even of our own standards. I believe in the high ideal of love, but sometimes I have sharp words with the people I say I love most in the world. I'm cooked even when I apply my own standard. And if I become honest at that point, and some humility begins to sink in at that point, I then become honest enough to know that there's something lacking in my life. I also become honest enough to know that maybe I need some forgiveness. And that makes me open to wanting to turn towards the Christ who has the power to forgive and who loves unconditionally.
Dr. Jerry Root is here. More after the break. As C.S. Lewis beautifully put in Mere Christianity, how do you know a line is crooked? You do not have a straight line to compare it to. By what value? We will be right back.
Dennis Prager here, and now is the time to sign up for our trip to Israel this fall. Mike Gallagher and I are headed back to Israel this October. Don't miss the Stand with Israel tour with our trusted partner, Inspiration Cruises and Tours. We'll visit amazing places in Israel, sure to profoundly inspire you with every step. Visit StandWithIsraelTour.com, StandWithIsraelTour.com, or 855-565-5519.
Every 40 seconds, a kid is reported missing. Find the Children provides educational material that teaches your kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs are very successful in bringing kids back home to their family. You can help protect our kids and bring the missing kids home safe by donating your unwanted car, truck, SUV, or van, running or not. We guarantee you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup, usually within 24 hours. Over 2,000 kids are reported missing every day. Call now to donate your vehicle. Donate now to bring these kids home safe.
Call 800-741-3155. 741-3155. 800-741-3155.
If you're between 50 and 85 years of age, stay tuned for this very important message. The average funeral is at least over $10,000 to $15,000. Is your family prepared to handle the financial burden after you are gone? Did you know that you may qualify for up to $25,000 in final expense life insurance benefits? These state-approved final expense plans will pay a tax-free benefit to your family after you are gone, regardless of your future age or medical condition. There are no medical exams. Your rates will never increase. Your benefits will never decrease. Don't make the last gift to your family a large funeral bill. Call 800-496-4779 now to lock in your lowest rate, or get a free quote at Compare National now at 800-496-4779. Prepare for the inevitable and the fact of life. Don't leave your family grieving and worried about paying your debts. Call 800-496-4779. That's 800-496-4779.
This is Albert Mohler for townhall.com. Vladimir Putin's government has arrested a major Western reporter, in this case a reporter for the Wall Street Journal, Evan Gershkovich, who was taken into custody on Thursday of last week. Now, of course, Gershkovich was accused of being a spy. That's as old as the old Soviet playbook. Those who have a memory of the Cold War know that that's exactly what took place routinely during the years of the Soviet Union under the context of Soviet communism. You had Western journalists repeatedly arrested. They were held on charges of espionage and spying, but no one on either side really believed it was espionage at all. It's a power play. Instead, and we knew this at the time, these reporters were pawns in a massive great power game between the United States and the Soviet Union. We're seeing a parallel dynamic emerge today. There are a lot of moral questions, and there's no easy way out of this. It's almost as if we are back in the Cold War once again. I'm Albert Mohler.
Hi, it's Mike Gallagher, inviting you to join me for a remarkable travel opportunity that will change your life forever. Dennis Prager and I are headed back to the Holy Land, Israel, this October. It's the Stand With Israel Tour. Join us along with our trusted partner, Inspiration Cruises and Tours. We'll take you to key sites in the Holy Land, thoughtfully designed to give you unprecedented access to a region you've likely only read about. Visit StandWithIsraelTour.com and get all the details. We'll uncover important geopolitical locations